Welcome back. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Mike Michaels, and this is Summer Salyer. We're about to review form and technique for riding the spinner. First, let's cover hand positions. There are 3 hand positions in the spinning program. Hand position 1 is used with seated flats when you're warming up, cooling down, and other times when you're riding at a light to moderate intensity. Notice how the edges of our hands are resting on the middle section of the handlebars. As with all hand positions, you want your shoulders down and relaxed with elbows soft. Summer, let's go ahead and take them out to hand position 2. Hand position 2 is the most common hand position in the program. You use it for almost all movements during a class. The only time you wouldn't use hand position 2 is during a standing climb, and we'll cover that later. In hand position 2, you simply grasp the handlebars here. Your hands are relaxed. You don't want to create tension in your upper body or neck. Wrists are neutral, shoulders are down and relaxed, and elbows soft. In a standing flat, hand position 2 looks the same. We still have a secure grip on the handlebars, but we're not squeezing, and our form is still the same. Summer, let's add some resistance and show them hand position 3. Hand position 3 has your hands at the ends of the handlebars. Resting your thumbs on top keeps a neutral alignment in your wrists. Okay, that's the 3 hand positions. Easy, right? Now let's move on to the core movements. The most basic movement is the seated flat. This is what a seated flat in hand position 1 looks like. You can also ride a seated flat in hand position 2. Summer has enough resistance on the flywheel to simulate a flat road. And remember, even on a flat road, you do feel some resistance. You feel the road. Be sure to have some resistance on the flywheel at all times. The cadence range for a seated flat is 80 to 110 RPMs. If your spinner bikes are equipped with a cadence meter, the number will be automatically displayed as you pedal. If not, you can count your pedal stroke for 15 seconds and multiply by 4. There are some form pointers that are common to all movements, so we'll go through them now, and I'll remind you again as we go through the other movements. Take a look at Summer's alignment. Her neck is in neutral alignment with her spine. She's not dropping her chin or lifting it up too high. Her shoulders are down and relaxed, and her elbows are soft. Summer, go ahead and show them what it would look like if you hunched up. Yeah, we don't want that. Go ahead and relax them back down. Good. Also notice that her knees are pointing forward. Some people have a tendency to let their knees fall out to the sides. Go ahead and show them that. All right. Keep an eye out for this form error in your classes. Remind your students to use their inner thighs to pull their knees back in. Summer, go ahead and use your inner thighs and pull them back in. Great job. Remember in our safety section we talked about pointed toes? Well, when you see that, just cue your students to keep their heels down. Great job. One more common error to watch for is bouncing in the saddle. This is a really common one. You've probably seen this or even caught yourself doing it on occasion. Bouncing in the saddle happens when there's not enough resistance on the flywheel for the speed of your cadence. So just turn up the resistance to stop the bouncing. So again, this is what good form looks like. Head and neck in neutral, shoulders are down and relaxed, elbows soft, knees pointing forward. Good. Let's move on to a standing flat. In a standing flat, you need to add a little more resistance to the flywheel. You stand up out of the saddle and center your weight over the crank arms. You're using your core muscles to keep you stable. Again, you're not squeezing the handlebars or tightening up at all in your upper body. Shoulders down and relaxed, elbows soft, chest lifted. Good. Okay, those are the 2 basic movements for flat roads. Next, we'll do the climbing movements. For a seated climb, you add more resistance to the flywheel, simulating climbing a hill. The more resistance, the steeper the hill. Be sure to add enough resistance that you slow down your cadence. 60 to 80 RPMs is the cadence range for seated and standing climbs. If someone in your class is pedaling faster than that, they don't have enough resistance on the flywheel. Look for the same alignment as in the seated flat. Alignment of the neck and head, shoulders down and relaxed, elbows soft, and hands lightly gripping the handlebars. It's easy to get so caught up in the intensity of a steep hill climb that you find yourself squeezing the handlebars and tightening up your neck and shoulders. When you see that, just cue your students to relax their upper bodies. Just a simple reminder is all it takes. Pay attention to the pedal stroke in a seated climb also. Summer's pedal stroke is smooth and fluid all the way through. Her heels are dropped to create more power. The other climbing movement is the standing climb. We're still simulating a hill, but now it's so steep that Summer has to come out of the saddle to put more power into her pedal stroke. Remember that a standing climb is always in hand position 3. Balance your weight over your crank arms, relax your shoulders, and use a soft grip. Okay, we've covered the seated flat, seated climb, and standing climb. All we have left are jumps and sprints. Summer and I are going to do these together. We use jumps in the spinning program as a drill to train our bodies to transition from the seated to standing movements with fluidity and stability. It takes good core strength and balance to accomplish this. Keep the pace slow enough so that you're in control at all times. We're not just popping up and down out of the saddle. We're engaging our core muscles and working on smooth transitions. Notice how there's still very little weight in our hands, and we're not launching our bodies forward, but lifting straight up out of the saddle. A more advanced version of this is jumps on a hill. The difference here is that we've added resistance to simulate a hill. Now we're transitioning from a seated climb to a standing climb. So when we're out of the saddle, we're in hand position 3. This transition simulates the way a cyclist would break away from the pack during a race or come out of the saddle to power up a switchback. All right. Now, a cyclist wouldn't do jumps repeatedly like we do in the spinning program. But remember, we use jumps as a drill. We're taking a movement that mimics something cyclists do, and we're repeating it to develop strength and fluidity in that transitioning movement. All right, ready for sprints? Sprints are an all-out effort. Doesn't mean all-out speed. You don't want to exceed 110 RPMs. Put enough resistance on the flywheel so that it's not even possible to go faster than 110 RPMs. That's where the effort and the challenge comes from the resistance. And remember, if you find yourself bouncing in the saddle, add more resistance. Okay, here we go. Summer and I are going to demonstrate a 15-second sprint. When I say go, we're not going to lose our form or alignment, and we're not going to pedal out of control. Ready, Summer? All right. Here we go. We're putting on some resistance, picking up the pedal stroke. Ready? Go. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, well, thanks for watching. We've covered everything you need to know to ride the spinner with good technique. Come back anytime you need a refresher on the hand positions, movements, and form.